quite a few returns to sea level and reascent. That second day from the Italian house round to Pandalimina was down to sea level at Scaffi, back over the top to the Castro, back down to sea level at Dodecanese, and then back up again to the peak above Pandalimina. So that was I think that was a 1100 metre day. Wakey, Mr. Oz.
I'm staying here. Told me when breakfast is ready.
That away.
Go this way.
Yeah. A long day lies ahead, so we pack up the gear and leave our bivouac after an early breakfast. It's a beautiful morning up here on this lovely ridge, which meanders its way from Mount Olympus to the bay at Scaffi, where we will make our second return to sea level. We've now reached the first stop on the ridge, having left the Italian house about 20 minutes ago. This top directly overlooks the town of Megalo Horio. And from here, the next stop along the ridge is the summit of Prinos. The vegetation is alive with a throng of small birds, most notable of which are Sardinian warblers and Kretschmeyer buntings, whose call is synonymous with the springtime mountains here on Tilos. Right, we're at the summit of Prinos. From here, the descent down to the beach at Scaffi is quite hard going. The slopes are quite densely vegetated with a lot of loose stone lying on the ground underneath. So this is going to be quite a slow descent to Scaffi.
What I do on Sydney?
Pray, you're a holy man. On the far side of the beach, we climb up to the next ridge along the side of a shallow gully. The ridge is broad and easy angled, rising to a narrow rocky crest formed from vertically folded beds of limestone. This is the summit of Castellos, which overlooks the fertile Scaffi Valley. In a dip on the ridge we come to the remains of another old mill. This and a threshing circle nearby, off the ridge, is further testimony to the wide dispersal of the population throughout the island in the past. The ridge terminates at the imposing crag on which the Byzantine fortress of Megalo Horio stands. We will have to force our way into the fortress from this direction before descending to Megalo Horio, and then continuing on from there to the little harbour at Ayasandonis for our third return to sea level. Up this little wall then, into the castle. A bit like a Turkish invader. Well, as you would expect from a properly designed and built fortress, it's quite hard to get into here by any other direction than through the main access door. But we managed to scramble up through a corner and over the wall. And here we are in the fortress of Megalo Horio. Fantastic viewpoint, with a view over Aristos Bay and over towards Prophetess Ilias, the Prophetess Ilias range, where we are heading next on our trek around the island. After a break of a couple of hours for lunch in Megalo Horio and a stop at Smithy's house in Ayasandonis to stock up our water supplies, we press on from Kamariani Monastery for the ascent to our second bivouac, which will be on the summit of Krialos, the most northerly peak in the Prophetess Ilias mountain range.
στα μήλα φορτωμένη και πάμε κοπελιά. Πάω να κόψω μήλο, πάω να κόψω μη. Πάω να κόψω μήλο, πιάνω το χέρι της. Πάω να κόψω μήλο, πιάνω το χέρι της. Χριστέ και Παναγιά μου και να μου παίρνεις. Λέω ότι σε λακάτω, λέω ότι σε λακά. Λέω ότι σε λακάτω, ή πάνω θα ανεβώ. Λέω ότι σε λακάτω, ή πάνω θα ανεβώ. Φλουράκια να αρματώσω τον άσπρο σου λαιμό.
Me and Ian gone our separate ways when we arrived here. Ian couldn't find a suitable place for his bivvy out in the open, so he's pressed on. I think he's probably gone as far as Prophetess Ilias summit and might well sleep in the little church there. But I managed to get a good bit of grain for this tent, and it's pretty comfortable, I must say. The plan is to rendezvous at Prophetess Ilias in the morning and finish off the traverse back to Livardia together. After another early breakfast, I pack up my tent and set off for the traverse along the main spine of the mountain to the summit of Prophetess Ilias, to make a rendezvous with Smithy, who is no doubt enjoying a bit of a lie-in whilst he waits for my arrival. That's turned out quite a nice morning. I've now reached the second peak along the ridge. It's about half an hour from when I left my bivouac on the peak which is just behind me. This second peak doesn't seem to have a local name. It's not got any name on any of the maps anyway. So I call it the Kamariani Peak because the first time I climbed it, I came up directly from Kamariani Monastery. Alone in this wilderness, the 500-year-old monastery of Pandalimina perches on the steep slopes of the mountain. On a previous occasion, I accompanied Ian Fulton, who is a local guide, and a group tackling the summit of Prophetess Ilias. We reached the main ridge just south of the Kamariani Peak and followed the same route as mine now. Yeah, there they are.
Really strange. Dead end.
We pass a threshing circle on the ridge here, more testimony of the intrepid spirit of Tilos farmers in days gone by. Beyond the threshing circle, which sits on a broad section of the ridge, the way ahead narrows to a rocky ridge crest, and the imposing summit crag of Prophetess Ilias looms up ahead. At first sight, the summit crag appears impregnable, but there are two chinks in its armour. By turning the crag on the right, you come to the bottom of a wide chimney. Like a ladder leaned against a fortress wall, this leads up and onto the summit of the mountain. The other way to the top goes up this steep ramp through the cliff face and makes for an entertaining short scramble to the church below the summit.
This lunatic's just climbing up this great fucking mountain.
Waterfall Lake to your left there. Good stuff, well done. Nice. Good. here we are again in Prophetess Elias Church. Just lit the candle, part of a ritual whenever I come here. It's nothing to do with Christianity, it's got to do with the candle being a symbol of life, light in the darkness, a symbol of renewal. Prophetess Elias is twin-topped, and both summits seem to be of equal height. Having rejoined forces with Smithy now, our route along the mountain continues beyond the twin summits, towards a junction with another ridge. Getting to the adjoining ridge is a bit tricky, as there is a steep descent from another peak on the main ridge to reach the lower ridge. Well done. The way onward to the next summit of Paliacastro takes on a rugged and crenellated ridge crest, which calls for some scrambling up and down, before a walk across easier ground to the base of the large crag on which the ruins of an extensive ancient fortress are scattered.
Hello, Mum. Wonderful morning here.
A bit of scrambling. Right, the final hole here. Final hole. Yeah, just outflanking this steep wall here.
Alright.
Here we are then, almost at the summit of Paliacastro.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's quite a substantial length of wall there, isn't it?
Unbelievable. And thick.
Big castle.
Bloody thick. Now we're at the top. What a sight. Beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely, the lighting is gorgeous. Right, we're going to head on down then.